The truth about disability hits you when someone dear to you is born disabled, becomes disabled after an accident, or when disability strikes in one of its unexpected, painful ways. Then, and only then, do you enter into this new world you never knew existed, a heaven where physiotherapists, doctors, medical social workers, and other helpers help you, teach you, counsel you as you come to terms with reality. Welcome to Your 1%, the unique chat show on voicesandviews.com. Today we listen as an eminent physiotherapist, Dr. Dhruv Mehta, talks to us about the facilities and services available to the needy. Listen carefully. Welcome to our show, Dr. Mehta. Tell me, how did you choose this branch of medicine as your profession?
I was always fascinated to be in the health profession. Well, I couldn't get into MBBS, so I got into physiotherapy. And I'm really fortunate that I'm in this field of physiotherapy. It's such a beautiful field where you can do so much of good healing and a lot of good work, and really get involved with the patient and the families in their journey to well-being. So I'm very glad that I'm a physiotherapist. I trained myself at KEM Hospital and GS Medical College. In 1978, that's I joined the college. It was the only place where we could do physiotherapy at that time. So I did my bachelor's in physical therapy, as it was called then, at KEM Hospital and St. GS Medical College. Passed out in 1982. Subsequently, I did my master's in physical therapy from the same college, and I finished in 1985. So it has been a wonderful training at KEM Hospital and GS Medical College. Subsequently, other colleges have come up. There was training at Sion Hospital and Nair Hospital. These are the corporation hospitals, and many private hospitals also have come into being.
Your main work as a physiotherapist was in any particular institution, or have you always been of visiting different hospitals?
Initially, for a few years, I was at KEM Hospital and at Gopi Krishna Piramal Hospital in Mumbai. But my biggest involvement has been at Children's Orthopedic Hospital. For over 2 decades, I got involved, particularly treating children with cerebral palsy and developmental disabilities. So I have been doing a lot of neuro rehabilitation for most of my career.
Tell us more about physiotherapy. We hear the term used very often, but we do not exactly know what the work entails.
Physiotherapy is restoration of function after disease, illness, trauma, or loss of a body part. So we try to restore a patient back to its function of daily living. We are also called movement science people. We want people to get mobile. If somebody is lying down, we want to make them sit up. If somebody is sitting up, we want to make them stand. If somebody is standing, we want to make them walk and get integrated, included into society. So we are movement science people. So we use a lot of modalities to get functional well-being. We relieve pain, we strengthen muscles, we mobilize joints, we increase aerobic capacity, the cardiovascular capacity, we bring down the body weight, so obesity. In all branches of physiotherapy, physiotherapy right from the womb to the tomb. Physiotherapy has a big role to play in antenatal and postnatal care, in pediatrics, children who are born with disabilities, cerebral palsy. Polio is now on the decline, but there used to be epidemics of polio. So physiotherapists were so deeply involved in rehabilitation of poliomyelitis. There are congenital defects. Children are born with club feet, various deformities. There is a deformity called meningomyelocele. The spine is curved, scoliosis, various disorders. Then there is orthopedic disorders. There are fractures. So physiotherapist has to really come and move the joints, treat the pain, strengthen the muscles. These days, there is a lot of arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis. There are joint replacements. So physiotherapists are called to mobilize the joints, treat pain, strengthen the joints, and even train what we call gait training, walking, which appliance to use, which walker to use, which wheelchair to use, which crutch to use, what splints to use, how to wear them, So this is the role of the physiotherapist. Physiotherapist educates. Also, physiotherapy is useful in cardiovascular and respiratory conditions. There is bypass surgery, for example. So physiotherapist is called for conditioning of the patient, for walking training, training on the cycle, training on the treadmill. In surgical conditions, plastic surgery and burns, there are contractures. Physiotherapy has to start very early. What we say is early intervention and early mobilization, so that the residual problems, what we say of contractures and deformities, of joints becoming stiff, muscles becoming weak, bones becoming osteoporotic, and even more than the physical component, it is the mood, it is the depression. Somebody who's less mobile, somebody who's less strong, becomes depressed. Somebody who's lying is more depressed. So exercise elevates the mood. So physiotherapists basically elevate the mood of the patient besides treating them physically. So we have electrotherapy. We use a lot of gadgets to relieve pain. We have laser. We have a lot of heat modalities. We have stimulators, and we use massage. We use hydrotherapy, pull therapy, and we use exercises. So with all these multimodal things that we have, we are able to, we do manipulations and mobilization to treat aches and pains and trigger points. So with all this that we have at our disposal, we are able to create well-being of the patient. Ultimately, the disease also has its limitation, but we can achieve greater recovery with physiotherapy.
Today, our population has a large number of senior citizens. They are in good health, but they require assistance. How does physiotherapy help?
Physiotherapy is very vital for the senior citizens. As we grow, as we put on in age, we have a lot of neurological conditions and also musculoskeletal conditions. There are aches and pains in the neck, in the low back, in hip joints and knee joints. So that we have to treat. And also there may be stroke, there may be Parkinson's disease, there may be loss of balance, immobility. So immobility and involuntary movements and paralysis creates its own mobility problems. So we have to, physiotherapy is very vital. We do breathing exercises so that somebody does not get pneumonia and chest infections. We do a lot of bed mobility and turning so that somebody does not get a pressure sore. We do a lot of mobility of the ankle so that the blood clot does not form and creates other problems. And we strengthen the muscles and bones so that even if there is a small fall, otherwise even if it's a small fall, they will fracture their arm or leg. So if you keep moving, the muscle is in a healthy state, the bones retain their calcium, they do not become osteoporotic. So physiotherapy is very important in the elderly, in the senior citizens who have orthopedic problems, and plus on top of the orthopedic problems, they might have neurological problems. So it is very vital.
What are the areas in the modern world that physiotherapy is able to help?
In the area of sports, has taken big leaps. Practically each and every sport, from racket sport to ball sport to swimming and cycling, everybody has got a physiotherapist. Each team has got a physiotherapist. So they treat their aches and pains, and they are involved with their fitness and conditioning. Physiotherapy is also now into community medicine. How to reach out from the hospital and work in community settings. How to reach out into the rural areas. There is a branch of physiotherapy called veterinary physiotherapy abroad, that is it means taking care of the ailments of animals, even animals and birds, and so they have their illnesses, they have their joint problems, they have paralysis. So there is veterinary physiotherapy abroad. The veterinary physiotherapy has yet to take sort of roots here in our country. So there are physiotherapists interested in this area to work, but we still don't have the science is yet to develop. So really physiotherapy is limitless.